Now then everybody, welcome to Foot Talkers. Thank you very much for the support we've had over the last 24, 48 hours. It's been absolutely incredible. I think we're just over 320 subscribers now. So if you are new to the channel and you like the stuff that's put out there, please join the journey, click that subscribe button, leave us a thumbs up and comment below. And going from there, basically today's video is all about the 15 future icons. We did the video the other day for the one that got away. I loved seeing the comments that you guys were leaving in regards to who was in your top 10. The reason I've done a top 15 for the future icons is simply because there was so many to choose from, and to whittle it down to kind of like 10, I couldn't do it. I had to do 15. So these are just the cards that I put together. The stats and things like that, it's just what I think could work well. Let me know in the comments if you think they're ridiculous or they're pretty good, and also let me know who might be in your top 3, top 5, top 10. If you want to do all top 15, go for it. People absolutely love seeing what other people would have gone for as well. So yeah, the idea is with 2 rules, just 2 again. The first rule basically is if they are still playing, they must be older than 36-year-old and ready to retire. Basically what I mean by that is we've got Cristiano Ronaldo who's 36 and we've got Zlatan who's 39. Them guys aren't retiring anytime soon. Ronaldo's probably going to play until he's 40 odd. Zlatan exactly the same. So they're exceptions to the rule. You know, they're not normal humans. Most people retire 36, 37. So that's the first one. The second rule is that there's nobody that can have retired before the year 2000. So what I've got a lot of people that I absolutely love watching through the 90s and stuff like that are in there. But also there's quite a few in here that you think, bloody hell, it's showing my age now, that these guys that I've been brought up watching and absolutely loving to watch are now just basically retired, like they've retired, they stopped playing now. So yeah, it's something that the top 4 or 5, hopefully you guys absolutely love, because when I put these cards together, I genuinely I hope EA see this video and at least attempt to get 1 or 2 of these together, because they are absolutely class. Not to blow my own trumpet, but hopefully you guys agree. So anyway, number 15. This is I think he has been an icon, and he got removed for one reason or another, and we know what it is from what we hear, he's not the nicest person off the pitch. But in number 15, it's Captain John Terry. You know, he was the absolute rock of that Chelsea team. You know, you've got players like Lampard as an icon. You can't have Lampard as an icon without Terry. It's just, in my opinion, his defending were absolutely quality. I'm in a position where looking at him as a defender, I've put down 96 for defending and 94 physical. I don't think he's far off that. His passing was unreal, left foot, right foot, and he won everything you needed to win in like domestic. I know England never did anything and they never will, but that was number 15. So into 14th place, I have gone for the Flying Dutchman, Robin van Persie. I think it were a player that a lot of times in previous FIFAs he always had some special cards and stuff like that. He is known for his absolute wonderful left foot. He's won the Premier League with Man United, as much as that I hate and really kind of like shudders Arsenal fans. He were absolutely quality for Holland. That World Cup in 2010 where he was just absolutely unplayable in games. And I do think he's another one that will be soon to be an icon in my opinion. And then in 13th place, I've gone for Iker Casillas. He's probably going to go down in Spanish history as their best ever goalkeeper. He's arguably one of the best goalkeepers we've seen in our generation since the time that I've been talking about. I think he got called up to Real Madrid when he was like 17 or something like that, and they were never present until basically he was mid-30s and they left to go to Porto. I've put him as a 94 rated. I don't think he can go much lower than that with a keeper of his magnitude and what he won, not just for Real Madrid but also for Spain as well. And then going down, I've got Robben in the next position. So the idea here, guys, is that Robben, for me, is one of them players where he's currently playing, but he's going to be retiring, I think, in next year. If he doesn't retire at the end of this season, I think he'll be done. I've absolutely loved him wherever he's been, at Chelsea, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich. They're the teams that straight away kind of like shout out to me, and he's just, again, he's none of them where, if you've seen any of the previous videos with this flashback Robin that's out currently, he is an absolute gem. I think in terms of what he can do with his left foot, he is an absolute monster. His finesse is just unreal. I put him down as a 93 rated, pace 94, shooting 89, dribbling 90. I don't think he'd be far off that, in all honesty. Number 11, another defender, another centre back. I've gone for company. Manchester City will go down in history for what they've done under Pep, but I think at the start of that era came when the likes of Company came in, and again, another captain, fantastic, and what he won with them is just absolutely unbelievable. I think he's an absolute rock, and he was whenever present in that Man City team. The only problem I'd say for him, unfortunately, he got quite a lot of injuries, especially towards his back end at Manchester City. But to me, we're just so close to getting glory with Belgium as well, which is a shame he didn't do. But again, I've put him down as a 92 centre back. Some people might disagree, they might think he was better than Terry or whatever, but I think John Terry were a monster. I just think in terms of positioning this, I think Company, he was just a likeable character as well, so that always helps. So, into 10th place. This is where it starts spicing up a little bit. We've just heard the retirement news this year, and this is the one where it really did make me think, God, I feel old now, is when I saw that Wayne Rooney were retiring this season, and now he's obviously the Derby manager, so it'd just be such a strange FIFA without him in there, so he's got to be an icon. I think whether it were his first games at Man United or for England in the early tournament, he were absolutely unbelievable. There's absolutely no denying. He's probably underrated, in all honesty. He's not ever spoken about as a great, but when you think about what he won for Man United and just the players he played amongst, he was always in that team, regardless if there were Ronaldo, Tevez, Van Nistelrooy, he was always there, and I think he was one of England's greatest, in my opinion. And then into number 9, this is Wesley Schneider. This is a player that I absolutely love watching. He was something that when he was at Real Madrid, I don't think he got appreciated fully, but certainly under his time at Inter Milan, when they won the treble with Jose Mourinho, he got so close in that World Cup with Holland as well. He should have been in the running for that Ballon d'Or, in my opinion. Again, his passing was unreal. His finishing from long distance was absolutely class. But to be honest, even his work rate, guys, were absolutely ace. If you've not seen too much of him, genuinely, he were unreal. So that was my number 9. And then this is the monster himself, Yaya Toure. I put him in 8th place, and he's, to me, it was just not natural. He was about 6'6", and he must have weighed about 16 stone. But once he got motoring, there was nobody stopping him. It was an absolute just a machine. He just bombed through his finishing. He had particular seasons at Man City where he was unplayable, and he has to be 100% has to be an icon. Everything I put him down as a 93 rated centre mid. He could do it all. I think his stats say he'd be in that same tier league as what Hull it'd be for me on this game. It's the only his goal, his passing, his tackling, his physical, his stroppy face sometimes, but you can't help but love that guy. He was an absolute legend for Manchester City. Number 7, this is a current player, but how he is still going, nobody knows. But it's Gianluigi Buffon. He is the old lady's absolute legend. I know that he went to PSG, I think it was for a split season, but he'll always be regarded as one of the best and most likeable, just an absolute quality legend. He already is a legend to everybody, I think, that plays and watches football. So yeah, I put Buffon in at number 7. It's quite a bit higher than Casillas, just because of that longevity of him still being there. I know this could break my rule of saying that somebody that's about to retire, because at I think he's 44 3 years old now or something like that. He could go till he's 50, but he might be a bit of an exception to my own rules that I put together. But you can see why he's in there, 100% hopefully. So yeah, he was number 7. In number 6 position, if ever you watched the 98 World Cup into 2002 World Cup, the flying right back that was Caffu, he was literally what made people want to be a fullback in real life. There was probably the likes, I think somebody once said about Gary Neville, who'd want to be a fullback when you've got players like that. But then you look at the likes of Caffu and what he did, he wasn't a defender. He was like a flying winger that he's passing, he's finish, he could finish, he could do everything, but he was such a solid defender as well as all that, which you don't too often get nowadays. You would get one or the other. But I put him down as a 93 rated right back, pace at 96, dribbling at 87, defending at 90. He'd be a top tier player. I think he's better than the current right backs at the minute that are on as in icons at the moment. So it's a shame he's not on there. But I think he will soon hopefully become an icon. Right, we're into the top 5 now, and this genuinely could have gone any which way. All 5 of these could have been in any order they could have gone. I just went off basically probably just down to me what I really liked in football, and not necessarily what you guys have all gone for, but this is my top 5. So in number 5, in the 5th player of this list here is Francesco Totti. You know, the Roma's captain, leader, legend. He's played there throughout his whole career, and I just think he is one of the best players to ever come out of that Roma team throughout the Italian, you know, that Italian team that he played in through sort of like the early 2000s and stuff were just absolutely quality. In Del Piero, Zambrotta, Cannavaro, you can just see them all together, and you know, soon you'd be able to make an icon team out of all of the Italian team. But yeah, I put him down as a 91 rated player. He didn't have the greatest pace, but his finishing, his passing, his dribbling were unreal. And I think he'd be a player that a lot of people would love to play with just for that nostalgia factor. Number 4, Andres Iniesta. You cannot score the winning goal of a World Cup and not be in as an icon. Again, you look at the likes of what Xavi's done. He's there. You know, he's on the Puyol. There's a lot of players that from that Spanish time with just dominance. And again, you can't look much further past Iniesta. And again, that'd be interesting to see if you could get the likes of Iniesta and Xavi in together. I believe he's retiring at the end of this season as well from that Chinese league, so that'd be a perfect time for him to become an icon on the next FIFA. With stats like what I've put on there, 79 pace, 81 shooting, passing 95, can't go much lower than that for passing. 93 dribbling, he could have got a bit higher, but when you look at likes of Messi at 98, he's not as good a dribbler as Messi, but he were a different type of dribbler, if that makes sense. So he was my number 4. Number 3, Adriano, the monster, the beast himself. He made his name for me when he played at Inter Milan. He was probably on the other console, on the other game of Persie. I think a lot of people loved him on there. But yeah, Adriano should be an icon already. Absolutely. I know that he's got off-field issues at the minute, but honest to God, what a shot that guy had. He was one of the most powerful strikers you'd have seen other than R9. Zanetti once said that his biggest failure was not kind of seeing his struggles in what he was going through, which is it's horrible to think, isn't it? But he was an absolute monster, and I think he'd be an absolute incredible player to have on the next FIFA, and I hope you guys agree with that one. Number 2, Gabriel Batistuta. This guy was just everything. He'd be another one of those players like Hullet and Larson with the hair, you know, and he'd stand out hopefully. And if he had a shot, free kick, what I always think of his shot, his free kick he scored against Man United in the Champions League. I think around about 2003. Honest to God, guys, he could hit a ball. His all-around game, though, for me, were absolutely incredible. I think he'll go down as a Fiorentina legend. I think he will be. I've got him down as a 94 rated striker, but he could have played all over the shop, to be honest. 88 pace, 96 shooting, 88 passing, 88 dribbling, physical 88, because again, he was a strong guy. I nearly said to else, but he was an absolute beast. And this is genuinely, guys, this is where I could have changed everything around so much. And in my number 1 pick, I have gone for Paul Gascoigne. This would be a player that when I put it together, I would love to see this card. We've got a lot of the team from the Italian 90. It shocked me he didn't retire until 2003 or 2004, I think it was. So I'm glad I could get him into this, into my rules and get him into my top 15. And look, he might not be as glamorous as a Batistuta or a Totti or anyone like that, but he brings back memories for me all day long. What he did, he was just unplayable. On his day, he was unplayable. I think you speak to a lot, you know, if I speak, I wish I could speak to some of the likes of Gary Lineker and all that lot, but Paul Ince, Brian Robson, everybody, they all say that Gaza was literally the best. And if we had more players like Gascoigne now that could get into the team and play without it all being a typical boring 4-4-2 for England over the last 20 years, we would have won stuff. I 100% believe that. But Gaza, I've gone for pace 88, shooting 88, passing at 90, dribbling 94, defending 74, and physical 70. And I'd just grow him 1 inch longer just so he might have tapped that goal in the the final stages of that World Cup game. And we wouldn't have had the Gaza tears if that had been the case. But look, guys, that was my top 15. I hope you liked it. It was something that were quality to put together. The cards that were, when I made them, it just, like I said, it made me actually want FIFA to do these and make some of them. Let me know what you would have gone for. If there's any that you think I've completely missed out, that'd be really interesting to know about as well. I guarantee you that people that are watching this video would like to know what you guys are thinking in terms of what you would have gone for as well. So comment, guys, commenting below just to see what you'd have gone for. People love reading it as well, I'm telling you for a fact. But look, guys, if you liked it, leave us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, get involved in this journey. It's growing, it's getting bigger, and it's growing faster than I ever expected. But look, on that note, thank you very much for coming. Toodaloo.